If you're currently taking Social Security, you might be wondering how your check matches up to somebody your age, or maybe you'll be claiming benefits in a few years and you're wondering what to expect. Well, we're going to go over all that data. In this short video, we'll take a look at the average Social Security check by age, the maximum benefit that anybody can receive, how much your benefit is reduced if you take it early, and how much it can increase if you wait beyond full retirement. And then take a look at Social Security as a progressive social benefit, because it's probably not what you think. Okay, we'll get right into the data. I do hope you take a moment to hit the like button, leave me some comments below, and even consider subscribing. Okay, now at age 62, this is data from the Social Security Administration. This is current data. At the age of 62, there's currently a little over 600,000 people of that age taking Social Security right now. Their average Social Security check is $1,424. At 65, there's approximately 1.4 million people of that age taking Social Security. Their average check, you can see there, is $1,607. At 67, there's almost 3 million people taking Social Security, and their check is $2,016. At the age of 70, there's about 3.2 million of the age 70, and their average check is $2,274. And you can see as we go down the line, okay, for example, at the age of 90, there's approximately 421,000 people at the age of 90, and their average Social Security check is $1,898. Social Security states that there's actually over 91,000 people currently 99 years or older taking Social Security, and their average benefit is $1,845. Now, the average Social Security check of all ages is $2,074.53. So that's everybody. Okay, there's approximately 70 million people on Social Security right now. That would be the average of all of those. Now, the maximum Social Security benefit that anybody can receive, if somebody chose to claim Social Security right now at the age of 62, the maximum benefit that they could receive is $2,969. At full retirement, so anybody born in 1960 or after, their full retirement age is 67, the maximum benefit that they could receive is $4,152. And if they waited to the age of 70, the maximum benefit they could receive is $5,151. Now, essentially, no one reaches these limits. Okay, to do that, Social Security, of course, uses your best 35 years of income. To hit the maximum, you would have to hit the total taxable income in all 35 years. What is that total taxable income? Well, in 2026, it's $184,500, so you'd have to make at least that this year. Going back in 2020, you would have had to have made at least $137,700. In 2010, the total taxable Social Security income was $106,800. In 2000, it was $76,200. Now, Social Security states that only 6% of workers exceed the taxable maximum in any given year. And only 20% will ever exceed the maximum at any time during their entire working career. So very, very few, a fraction of 1% ever hit this total benefit. Okay, now, I stated that if you're born 1960 or after, your full retirement age is 67. If somebody then chooses to take their Social Security at 62, their benefit is reduced 30%. If they claim it at 63, it's reduced 25%, or they get 75% of their full benefit. At the age of 64, they would get 80% of their full benefit. And then, of course, you can see these figures. At the age of 67, they get their full benefit. Now, you can wait as long as till you're 70 to start claiming, and then you go over 100%, okay? If you go beyond 67, your benefit increases 8% per year, okay? So if you wait all the way to the age of 70, your benefit is 124% of the full benefit. Okay. For example, let's say at 67, your full benefit would have been $2,500 at the age of 67. If you claim at 62, it would be $1,750. If you wait all the way to 70, it's $3,100. So the longer you wait, of course, the more you get. Now, that's where the whole idea of break-even points come in, which we'll talk about in a minute. Now, but Social Security is a progressive benefit. And what I mean by that is they take your 35 years of income. Okay, so naturally people get pay raises. So, your income from years ago is adjusted for inflation, indexed, adjusted for inflation, and brought up to today's dollars. So if the average of all those 35 years, okay, if the average income of somebody turned out to be like $29,813, their Social Security, their yearly Social Security benefit would be a little over $15,000, or in other words, your Social Security for low-income earners replaces about 52% of their income. For median, okay, if somebody's average earnings turned out to be around $66,000, okay, Social Security would replace about 38% of their income. For higher income earners, averaging around $106,000, Social Security replaces about 32%. And if somebody was very high income, let's say their average turned out to be $163,000, then Social Security only replaces about 25% of what they were used to getting from their income. Now, Social Security break-even points. Now, naturally, if you wait to the age of 67, you get more, your check is larger than if you draw it at 62. But the person that drew it at 62 got 5 years worth of checks. So even though, let's say if you wait to 67, your check is larger, but it takes a while to catch up to that person that had 5 years worth of checks before you even drew your first one. So that's where the break-even point analysis comes in. However, most calculators don't consider the time value of money. They just simply look at total benefits paid. Okay, so they don't take the time value of money. They don't consider the fact that if you had your own savings or your own investments, if you wait to start claiming Social Security, you may have to start using your own retirement funds earlier, and therefore that money cannot remain invested longer. So you have to take all that into account. So if you want to look at the analysis of break-even points that takes in the time value of money and the fact that if you do have some of your own investments or retirement accounts, I do have a video on that. I'll link that in the description below. I think you'll really find it helpful. So I hope this has been helpful or informative, and thank you for watching. Please hit the like button, and I'll see you next time.